for curling iron techniques, we're going to start off with the Marcel iron. You can use a spring-loaded curling iron as well for these techniques. I'm just showing you the Marcel iron. It's something I use every day in the salon. It's very versatile. It rolls easily in the hand, so it's perfect for barrel curls. Barrel curls are an alternate use for rollers. So if you don't have rollers, you can do barrel curls. First, I'm going to show you the base placement. So it'll be on base, off base, and 1/2 off base. Refer to the head sheets for these, as well as the sectioning in the downloadable content you'll see on the head sheets. This is on base, 1/2 off base, and then off base. So they give you different volumes off the curl. So I'm going to do all the curls on base or 1/2 off base. And with a barrel curl, the effect is exactly like a roller. So the first one I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just let you see here. And the iron is quite hot. And as I hold it on the head, we wanna make sure that you don't burn the hair, so you can place a comb under the iron. In order to catch the hair, tap the iron to get the iron out of the hair, holding the hair with the comb. So as we move on to the next one, after I clip it, I'm gonna describe exactly. So basically you open the iron, you place the curl, wrap it around once, close it, rotate your hand, and tap the iron open and close while you're rotating. This is why the spinning Marcel iron helps, but you can use a spring load. So the movement is basically, the reason why you're doing the barrel curls is it's going to give you an even heat distribution from scalp to tip when you do these. So just like a hot roller. And in order to get the hair nice and smooth around the iron, you have to start by wrapping it at the roots and then rolling it in so that you get the even heat distribution. And to work the ends into the curl, you use the tapping motion. So you just tap the barrel open and close ever so slightly while you're rotating your hand, and you can hold the ends and guide them in. Sometimes you don't need to do that, but I recommend holding the curl with the comb in order to tap the appliance and get the appliance out of the barrel curl so that you don't have to touch the burning hot hair, which I'm doing here. And I use a pin curl clip. You can use a bobby pin here. So if you don't have pin curl clips, you can secure these with a bobby pin. And you can use a workable liquid hairspray to spray on each section before you set these. It's very, very effective. I recommend the use of a liquid hairspray for these. And as per the sectioning, which I've outlined on the head sheet, the back barrel curls you can roll in any direction. I've chosen to roll them forward here. So you can see how we comb that out after. And with the barrel curls, when you switch sides, I recommend switching hands and using your left hand in order to do the right side so that you get an even curl pattern. And just play around with doing the curls different directions and you'll see what I mean. This is a creative process. So try on this side, we're doing off base placement, so we're gonna have less volume in the curls on this side, but you'll be able to see how that works. And again, you're guiding the ends in last so that the heat distribution can be right at the scalp as well, and that's how you're gonna get the most volume. And I hold that barrel curl in before I pin it. It is quite hot, so I would recommend using your tail comb so that you can hold the curl on the iron. So you'll see here another direction. I wrap the hair around one full rotation, then do my tap. So I pull it out, tap, and then roll the appliance back in while all guiding the ends in at the same time. Now, it takes a little bit of practice to learn this technique, but it's a nice alternative to rollers. Not everyone has hot rollers, but most people have a curling iron. So if you want to do a look that looks like rollers, or that has volume, or that's more of a classic look, which I'm showing you here, do the barrel curls for that. And it's a creative process. You can wrap these curls in different directions and you'll get a different look. So by rolling the hair forward in the front, I'm creating more of a classic kind of 50s look. And when you take these out, I recommend using a wide tooth comb after they have fully cooled down completely. So you'll have to let them sit for about 10 minutes at least until all the heat is cooled. You can use a cold blow dryer as well if you're in a rush. And once I finish these last few barrel curls, we're just doing the front here. I'm going to move on to different curling iron techniques after, followed by the flat iron technique for curling as well. So you'll get a couple of different curling looks. But first I'm going to comb out my barrel curl set so you can see that it's more of a classic look similar to hot rollers. When I'm combing the hair, I use a very wide tooth comb. Sometimes static can occur, so if you're worried about static, spray some hairspray onto the comb before you brush it through before you use it on the hair. And if your curl set is done well, it should bounce when you comb it. If you don't see any bounce in the curl is not going to hold as well over time. So unfortunately, once you take this out, that's your only shot. So you need to make sure that the hair is sprayed, saturated before you curl it. That'll ensure that it stays better. But some hair just does not hold, especially on some children. But I've just done a little bit of a comb out for you so you can see how nice that retro look is with the barrel curls. And this hair is quite bouncy. Mannequin hair holds curl very well. Not everyone's hair is going to hold the curl as well as this, but you can use a lot of hairspray and product in order to get it to hold. So on the side, I'm going to just show you some really quick everyday curling iron techniques that I've outlined the sectioning on the head sheet. I'm going to curl from top to bottom. So I want to get the curl happening at the roots as much as possible, again, going through the end. So the way I do this is I hold the iron in the way that I'm showing you here from over top of her head. And I wrap the hair down the head and then that down the scalp. And so that way you can see that curl is nice and even from roots to ends. And it's going to give us a soft, very romantic curl. Now I'm going to do a little bit more of an angle with the wrapping than I did before, so you can see how changing the angle slightly will give you a different curl. And then I will do a wrap where it's even more on base, so you can see even more how that works. But again, it's always the same motion with the hair, holding the iron so that the tip is pointed at the ground, and then you wrap the hair from the base of the iron towards the tip. So basically from roots to ends, and you're going to get a nice even curl that way. So play with the angles of your iron when you're doing that wrapping, and you'll get a different look with the hair. Now the final look is completely on base, over directed up. So we're doing on base placement and just wrapping the hair. And I still do that tapping sometimes when I do this. So it's almost like a barrel curl, but we're not securing it down and wrapping it. We're just brushing it out right away for a very loose, romantic, soft kind of look. So that's something you can do with any curling iron you have. You're holding the iron different than usually what you're used to. So you're holding it pointing down at the floor. So on the opposite side, what do we have to do? We have to switch our hands in order to get the same angle with our iron. So you'll now have to switch to the opposite hand you were using before, which is the left hand. So now you'll be using your right hand. And that way you're getting the same angle with the curls, and then you'll have symmetry. And I've shown you how. So you would have to stand in front of their face, but for the camera, I'm showing you that hand placement, and then again I'm going to show you the on base wrapping placement, which gives you a lot of volume and it's nice and quick. And again, you want to use a liquid working hairspray. I also recommend a volumizing spray before you blow dry. That's going to lock in extra hold. So a volumizing spray, even if the hair is thick but doesn't hold curl very well, a volumizing spray coupled with a liquid working hairspray will help very well when curling children, anyone's hair. So again, we use a wide tooth comb to brush it out. That is optional. You can leave them if you'd like, or you could put the hair up in a loose updo if you would like. Now we're going to do something you've probably done at home, but I'm twisting the hair around the iron as I go. And this is a loose kind of beach wave pattern, and I've demoed this on a live model, but it's a very simple way. So you can see now the iron is pointing towards the ceiling, and as I wrap the hair around, I unravel the hair from the iron, creating a sort of a flat beach wave. And I move the iron forward when I do this. Again, the sectioning is the everyday curling iron technique, sectioning from the head sheet in the downloadable content section for free. And I've outlined this technique on a real model demo, so you can see how I do the beach wave curling iron. You can see without the twisting, the effect that you get, very romantic, very soft, very wavy. So you can see the similarities through the wave patterns, but as I comb it, you can see that some are looser than others. And so sometimes you want to do a looser wave or just have the wave at the end, and you can do that. This is a very quick way to get some wave in the hair. Again, I recommend spraying some hairspray prior, but a very light hairspray. And this is a very basic, quick curling iron technique to create very soft waves in the hair. The iron is pointed at the ceiling, and it's just a way to get some nice wave quickly into the hair. And I alternate the direction of the hair as I roll it, and there's no unraveling of the hair while I use the iron, so there I'm going to have the most volume when I do this. But if you unravel each time you twist, you create a flatter beach wave, and I've demoed that in a later video. So just continuing through the top, I like to try and make sure that the wave starts as close to the root as possible for this, because I like a lot of volume. But again, that just depends on the child or the person whose hair you're doing, if they want volume or if you want volume on top. Sometimes you just want it on the ends, the little wave, and that's fine. But you can see how I do the bangs. I hold the iron the same direction in the bangs, just now I'm standing in front. And moving on, we're going to do our flat iron curls technique. This flat iron has 1-inch plates, so 1-inch plates or smaller were great for curling, and it's the same technique as a curling iron, but with a flat iron, you basically flat iron the hair, rotate the hand about 180 degrees and pull it through. So you'll see how I demo that. 180 degree turn, and now I hold the ends, I guide the ends through the flat iron, and I just pull the hair through. I roll the flat iron as I go. I'm showing you a very tight curl, but if you just did 180 degree rotation with your hand, you would get a looser curl. So that's the fun thing about curling with your flat iron, is it's a little bit more versatile as long as you have 1-inch plates or less you need so that you can get that nice curl. So I'm going to demo now some different ways that you can apply flat iron curls in that same kind of rotating and pulling through technique. So definitely try different angles when you're doing this. Go horizontally for lots of volume. Try angling your hand down like I've done here for a little bit more of a flat wave. Each way you hold the angle of your hands will give you a different look. And I've demoed a beach wave flat iron technique on a real model, and you'll get to see how that looks on real hair in just a moment. But first, I like to show you the techniques. I break it down so that you can rewind it and review, and you can practice this video at home. Now with a flat iron, with this wave, you want the end of the flat iron pointing down. So if you want the curl to be symmetrical, you do have to switch hands when you do the other side. So I'm going to show you in a bit, but practice being a little bit ambidextrous here when you're flat iron, because you will get a symmetrical look on both sides, and that's very important. And it will make your styling happen really fast, especially if you're in a pinch or if you're doing a few kids and you just happen to be the only mom or the only parent with a flat iron. You can do this really quick on a lot of kids if that's what you need to do. And you can see I've switched hands now when I'm rotating away from the face. I've had to switch hands, and then there'll be times when I rotate the hair towards the face while it also has to switch hands. So hand placement and the direction that the hair is being wrapped is very important when you're using your flat iron and your curling iron. That will give you a different look. And I always go for the most flattering in front of the face or around the face is always rolling the hair direction away from the face. That sounds a little confusing, but so if you're working in front of the face, such as the bangs or around the ears, you wrap the hair in the direction away from the face so it opens up. And that can be fun for kids because it'll get their hair out of their face, and it'll look pretty flattering too as well. So stay tuned for the curling iron and flat iron demos on the real models. Thank you so much for watching this flat iron curling iron technique demo. And you can see we are finishing here and we've got some nice curls happening. So make sure you practice this technique at home on your loved ones. Thanks so much for watching.